Good evening, viewers, and welcome to today's edition of the news. First, a look at the headlines. Centre asks states to enhance testing capacities to deal with COVID-19 pandemic. Flash floods occur in several parts of Shillong following incessant rains since last couple of days. Plain belt of Garo Hills affected by floods, several villages inundated and 5 people killed. And sero prevalence study conducted in Delhi shows 23.48% people are affected by coronavirus. And now the news in detail. The central government has asked the states and union territories government to increase testing capabilities to deal with COVID-19 pandemic. In a letter written to all the states and union territories governments, the Health and Family Welfare Ministry and the Indian Council of Medical Research said that the evolving scenario demands for enhanced testing capabilities to handle any surge in testing demand. Meanwhile, government today said a total of 7,24,578 people infected with COVID-19 have recovered in the country so far, and the recovery rate is 62.72% in India. The case fatality rate continues to decline in the country and it has come down to 2.43%. Meanwhile, 21 new positive cases were reported in the state today, taking the total number of active cases to 416. 18 people also recovered today in Meghalaya. Following continuous rains in the city since the last 3 days, flash floods occurred in several areas of the city, including Polo and Jail Road areas. The water from the rain entered the homes of many people in these areas, forcing them to come out. It may be mentioned that several areas of the city lack a proper drainage system, which leads to inundation of several areas. Director Health Services MI Dr. Amanwar has clarified that residents are not required to go for quarantine unnecessarily just because some persons have come into contact with a suspected COVID-19 positive patient. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Dr. War said that if a person tests positive, then people who came into contact with this person are known as high-risk contacts, and such high-risk contacts have to quarantine according to laid-down protocols. Strangely, some residents in few localities were also asked to quarantine, though their suspected contact had already tested negative. Meanwhile, reacting to rumors being spread on social media about the death of the scientist to COVID-19, DHS MI Dr. Amanwar put to rest all such speculation and asserted that he died of COVID-19.
High-risk contact, kalau व्यक्ति high-risk contact kilong positive, begitu secondary work sawan. Jalai lupa contact tracing. Mentak test super kalau gini high-risk contact. Darah itu high-risk contact, namanya kalau positive, kita contact tracing itu berfakt.
The plain belt of Garo Hills has witnessed a surge in water levels over the past week, with most areas getting submerged under the backflow of the Brahmaputra. The surging flood waters, which affected over 175 villages in the plain belt of Garo Hills, claimed 5 lives, including 4 minors and a woman. All of them are from Tikrikila Community and Rural Development CNRD block in West Garo Hills. Opposition MLAs led by leader of the opposition Dr. Mukul Sangma visited the affected areas to take stock of the situation. Congress leader Zenith Sangma too said the situation is disheartening, even as he claimed that several community quarantine centers are affected by the flood.
COVID committee constituted by the district administrations in almost every village wherever these community quarantine centers are there and active. social distancing is being maintained. In my visit, I could see. But then, no assistance so far has been given by the government.
Congress leader Zenith Sangma has alleged that a high-risk contact of a positive patient is absconding and the authorities are yet to trace him. Speaking to media persons, Zenith Sangma said that the person who has tested positive is from Salmanpara, southwest Garo Hills, and due to some police case, he had gone to Chennai and he came back with a friend who is still absconding. Sangma fears that since the positive patient and his friend mingled with the people, there are chances of community transmission. However, DHS MI Dr. Amanwar said that he would seek a report on the high risk on the matter.
To get report for that, on government guy immediately. You have the official report. The child will I young prosecuting the Kilala no clearly. So, have you feel Salman Para? Salman Para? Salman Para. Salman Para. So, in what show you have? So, the child will I prosecuting inside.
West Jayanti Hills police on Monday seized huge number of explosives during a Naka checking conducted by Ralyang outpost personnel. The seizure includes 4,500 gelatin sticks, 4,000 electronic detonators and 4 drums of diesel oil without valid documents. The driver along with 3 others were arrested in this connection. Superintendent of Police West Jayanti Hills Bikram Marak said that the vehicle which was intercepted for transporting explosives was proceeding towards Assam via Karampani. A sero-prevalence study conducted in Delhi to understand the proportion of population exposed to corona infection shows that 23.48% of the people had antibodies. The study also indicates that a large number of infected persons remain asymptomatic. This study has been done by the National Centre for Disease Control in collaboration with the Delhi government. And now here is the weather report. The maximum temperature recorded was 21.1 degrees Celsius, while the minimum temperature was 18.1 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity in the morning was 95%, while in the evening too it was 95%. Rainfall recorded was 31.3 millimeters. The forecast: Shillong and its adjoining areas will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. And before we conclude, a look at the headlines once again. Centre asks states to enhance testing capabilities to deal with COVID-19 pandemic. Flash floods occur in several parts of Shillong following incessant rains since last couple of days. Plain belt of Garo Hills affected by floods, several villages inundated and 5 people killed. And sero-prevalence study conducted in Delhi shows 23.48% people are affected by coronavirus. And that's a wrap of today's edition of the news. Thank you very much for joining us, and from all of us here, it's good night.